Hi everyone, it's Ann at Martin House Flowers. I wanted to share with you my peonies that, wow, even though my driveway asphalt smell is overcoming me, the smell of these peonies, these double white peonies, are just breathtaking. It's just beautiful. Look at that. Today I think it's May 17th. I gotta check the calendar, but wow, it's super early. It's at least 10 days to 2 weeks earlier than last year when my peonies bloomed last year. Sorry about the sound in the background. They're building a house and they're working on the roof. But look at that. I would have to say the number of blooms, this is 2 different shrubs here, and the third one over here is Sarah Bernhardt. Oh my goodness, look at her. Oh my goodness. Just beautiful. And I'm sorry back there. Kiss Me Kate is covered up in netting. I might take her off. I'm just really worried about the cicadas. So far, my only source of information regarding rose bushes and cicadas being potentially negatively damaged, affected, is from the Chicago Morton Arboretum, and they're pretty knowledgeable. They're all about their trees, but they obviously know a little bit about shrubs, and they have named roses as well as lilacs and forsythia, as per my earlier video. So far I've left that one on. I think I might take it off today because I took out the New Dawn cover, which is over by my arbor on the east side, because it's a climber and it might be, the netting's kind of holding it back from climbing. But you can see that my globe alliums are fading now. This is probably the last purple shot of it. Most of them have gone green, and you just see some slight purple, but isn't that gorgeous? Oh, my phlox, my white phlox here is starting to bud out. Look at that. So I've got to come in and water and deadhead these sunshine impatiens that, if they're anything like the white ones I had last year, these are gonna be a beautiful mound. Just have to keep deadheading them. Apparently you don't really need to deadhead, but I think it's always good. Definitely full sun here. So I just wanted to primarily show my peonies. Might as well show you back here too, where I moved the purple pansies from my urn. So there's Blew My Mind doing really well in the front there. But the back here is looking kind of sparse. But I'm gonna give it time to fill out. But look at, it gets a little bit of shade here until a late afternoon sun, but moving my pansies to the corner with the blue lobelia under my standard boxwood. I think it looks really pretty that it's my little purple corner, the white containers. Super hot day on Saturday afternoon. So there you can see I've left the netting on most of my roses, but did remove the netting on my bed there because I was doing more research about the cicadas and watched a few more interviews at the Morton Arboretum, and what I learned was that as soon as you hear the cicadas mating, the males, you know, that electrical sound that's kind of deafening, It's going to reach up to 100 decibels, which is louder than a lawnmower. Anyway, as soon as you hear that, that's the male cicadas calling out, trying to mate, attract the attention of the female cicadas. And within 10 days, about 10 days, then these female cicadas get impregnated and will then start to carve out slits in branches of trees, especially young fruit trees, and that red bud over there, which I think we're going to cut up some of our netting bags and wrap around it, because none of our netting bags were wide enough to go over. And that tree is already the second red bud. It replaced last year's, so I don't want to risk it. They're quite expensive, and I just don't want to risk that red bud getting affected. There are a lot of branches. So anyway, so yeah, you have about 10 days apparently, just to update everyone on the cicadas. You have 10 days from the time that you hear that calling, that sound, for the females to basically lay their eggs. So as soon as I hear them, then I'm going to go back and cover my roses, is the bottom line. Because I did take out some. I was just worried about all of those new plantings over there. There are 9 new rose shrubs planted across that bed. So I took them off just so they could breathe better. I know they can breathe and get enough sunlight, but there's some branches or leaves coming through nicely, so I didn't want to impede any of that growth. So I think for the next week, until I hear those cicadas, I'm going to let them feed. And my 2 climbers over here, one of them is New Dawn, and the other one is right in front, and that's New Dawn back there that really has a lot of pain spreading out. So I released them from the bag, but I will try to cover them up again. But boy, were they thorny, especially New Dawn. It was hard to get the netting and without even having them. And I did take out, right here I have last year's planting. I didn't, which one was that? It's the one that gets kind of orangey yellow. It's going to come to me. I just need to walk over there, but I'm going to try not to trip because I have a dress on. So anyway, that is budding out. So anything that was budding out, I released them from the netting until I hear the cicadas. So there's that container over there that has the single geranium, and I put some of my leftover snapdragon seedlings in there too. So that'll have some nice height. There'll be some snapdragons and geranium in that pot. And right beside that, I have 2 At Last roses from Proven Winners. And I wanted to update, sorry about my porch there. I wanted to update everyone. Here I go. Now the Facebook. These are you're going to get tired of hearing about these, but these are my Proven Winners Let's Dance Skyview shrubs. And yesterday morning, I was out here watering between 8 and 9 a.m. Gave them a nice drink, and by the afternoon when it hit mid-80s, boy, were they wilted and sad. So in the evening, around 7 o'clock, I came and watered them again. So they look a lot better this morning. Thank goodness they recovered. I guess it's early afternoon now. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's full sun out here, and these are supposed to be able to handle 6 hours of sun, but it is facing south. So, and I'm hoping that this birch tree will give it a little bit of much needed shade in the afternoon. There is my favorite rose, and there is another rose and another rose still covered, but it's going to come to to me before I read the sign. This is Lady of Shalott, which is supposed to be one of the largest shrubs from David Austin, and it has a bud, which is super exciting. So in a couple weeks, I'm going to be doing a rose tour of my garden, and maybe the cicadas won't be as bad as we think, but I would rather be safe than sorry. So there's the New Dawn. Like, look at it. It has taken off in its second year. First full year, really, because I just planted them last June. My peony from bare root that I planted less than 2 weeks ago is coming up. But look at these, just a closer look at my Rosanna Jacobs, Tchaikovsky. It's only been a week and they're now leafing out since I've planted them. It's just sort of sad when you first receive them. That's Desdemona that's coming from bare root from David Austin. Who knows how long that'll take to deliver. There's Perfuma Madame Anisette, leafed out really nicely. And yes, I'm starting to worry that I planted these too close. The back ones are 20 to 22 inches apart, but diagonally or zigzag to the front ones, they're only 15 inches to the base. So I'm worried that I've planted them too close. But I want this area, this bed, to really, there's the, I ran out of signs, but this is Queen of Sweden, these last two. So those were just planted about 4 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, so they're going to start leafing out. But I wanted this bed of roses to be a nice full bed of roses, and I love the cat's pajama nepeta bordering the front. Just love it. And eventually next year, probably, or maybe in the fall even, I'm going to put a retaining wall of stone, just some retaining bricks back there. So no sign yet of buds on these quick fab fire. There's some snapdragons I planted underneath the hanger. Pansy's still doing well. I've been deadheading these so that they do well. Carefree Wonder that got eaten down to the ground. My Carefree Wonder rose. I put one of these cloches over it, and it is making its way back. This is what the rabbit destroyed. My Bobos, hydrangeas, are looking like they might be budding out. They're a little bit late. They come out not till June, July. These are little limes, and they're so much larger than the Bobo hydrangeas. My nickname for Eddie. But look at the hydrangeas. Sorry, delphiniums. Look at them. So there are 3 plants here. But look at all that. I cannot wait. These, I would say, are one of my favorite flowers, perennials. So there are 3 plants in there, and I just love them. That hydrangea in the back there is one of those hydrangeas that you get that are greenhouse grown, and you get them at Easter time. I picked one up last year. It was a huge periwinkle blue, purple Easter hydrangea, and I did plant it in the ground last summer, probably around June, and it's coming back. It's looking better than one of my Proven Winners hydrangeas that I'm nursing. So we'll see if it blooms. It's always a 50-50 chance. I saw a lot of comments about those nursery grown hydrangeas and whether or not they're good for the garden, because they're forced in a greenhouse, to be blooming in spring, like at Easter time. They are not always reliable to put into the garden and bloom. It's a 50-50 chance. I've done that every year except for this year. I did not pick one up for Easter, and it's the first one in this garden that I've planted. My last house, I planted probably 3 of them, and again, half of them bloomed, half didn't. So these are my bloomstrucks. This middle one was a replacement last year, so that's why it's a little behind to the other 2. I had 3 3-gallon pots when I first planted them in June of 2022. So technically it's the second year for those ones and first full year for this middle one. There's my fountain. And now I believe these are no, the ones over there are Francis William, but I don't know what these hostas are, but there's my hellebores just snuck in there now. So I planted those about a month or two ago. So yeah, just wanted to give you an update about my peonies and give you what's blooming. I'll update again in the next couple weeks or days on what's blooming in the garden. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you again soon.